welcome. How are we all doing? Welcome to today's show. How are we all doing? Welcome to Motivational Mondays. I'm sorry, I'm about 5 minutes late. how are we all doing? We good? Great. So this week, what am I going to be talking about this week? Books. Why am I talking about books? Because they have been really good distractions from social media whilst I've been off them. I've got to tell you that. And the fact that they have given me a lot of life tips. And the ones I'm mentioning today are ones I recommend for anyone that is trying to find inspiration in life and feels they could improve in something, or they just, they want to be inspired by someone else. And the books that I have picked are all ones I have read myself. None of these I have not read. All of them I have read. Nearly all the way through, nearly all of them. I apologise I haven't finished all of them, but most of them I have. And they have been perfect. I think I've picked just about under 10. I think. I could be wrong. I apologise if that's wrong. But anyway, so the reason, as I said, the reason I picked these books is because they are a lot of the things I've learned that inspire me. They're from people that inspire me. And they have really good tips. They work for me. Okay, I'm not saying they're going to work for you, but if you're asking for my recommendation for something that may help you see a different way of looking at life, or you want to see how I get inspired, this is where I get inspired from. These are the places I get inspired from. So if you're inspired by me, I don't know if you are, and you're asking where do I get inspiration from, it's quite a lot of it is from these books. So I will start with them. I will start with the top one because, it's probably a good place to start. Anyway, so the first book I've got for you is not this book, but it is by the same author. The book I recommend first is Alfie Dey's The Scrapbook of My Life. This is not that book. This is the Pointless Book 3, which is another one of his. This is more like a creative doodle book, which is really fun. If you're creative, go and get this book. This book's amazing. There's 3 in the series, clearly. So go and get this. But The Scrapbook of My Life is basically his autobiography, but with a lot of inspirational quotes. His recall back to when he was a child, how he got involved with YouTube, how he tries to inspire other people, the way he looks at life, journeys he's gone through, the stories he's had with Zoella, stuff like that. I've been watching Alfie for nearly 4 years now. He is a really inspirational, funny, clever, creative guy. I really look up to him. He always says to people, his most famous catchphrase is, do more of what makes you happy. And I just think that is a brilliant thing to say, and it's the way I look at life, because if you're not happy, what's the point in living it? So if you want a good inspirational autobiography by someone that is funny, clever, and very creative, definitely go and check out The Scrapbook of My Life by Alfie Dey. Now, the next book I have picked for you is another YouTuber book. Sadly, I do not have this book on me. I apologise, I'm having to get the image up now. But this was one of the very first self-help books I have ever read. I think it was the first self-help book I ever read. And for that, it probably started to where I am now. And if it wasn't for it, I don't think I'd be doing what I'm doing for you guys right at this very minute. And that book I am talking of is, of course, to me, and I thought it would be out by now. I'm really sorry it hasn't been. Anyway, the book I'll tell you, it is called How to Be a Boss by Lily Singh. It is basically a memoir, or should I say a go-to guide, one-on-one guide on how to be awesome at life. There are things from self-motivation to education to social media, the way to live your lifestyle, how to be healthy, how to achieve your goals, waking up early in the morning, dealing with time and being able to deal with what you need to get done, put them things priority, like organising your time better. There are so many things in this book. I cannot narrow it down on how many things are in this book. It's on the cover. It says a guide to not surviving but conquering life. And that is the cover right there. This was just, honestly, I read this for the first time about nearly a year ago now, and honestly, I could almost quote this book every single day. Some of the things that are in this book are just so so awe-inspiring. If you know who Lily Singh is, she is not just a YouTuber. She is a actress. She is a filmmaker. She's a director. She's a choreographer. She's a singer. She does everything. Okay, her diary is honestly I can't explain how busy this woman is and how much she does and how inspiring she is and the way she deals with it and the way she conquers it all and she achieves what she wants to within the amount of time she has to whilst dealing with about 1,000 other projects going on. It is all in this book, How to Be a Boss. Honestly, I cannot recommend this one enough. If you are looking for a book on how to conquer life and how to control your life and be able to be the boss of every single situation you could ever be put in, because honestly, every single situation is brought up in this book, please go and give this book and check it out. Lily Singh, How to Be a Boss. The next one is a traditional, more famous, more famous self-help book that I'm sure a few people may have heard of, and that is, of course, Think and Grow Rich. Again, I don't have this book on me. I nearly did bring it back with me, annoyingly. Think and Grow Rich Quick is one of the most famous self-help books in the world. It was written by a guy who went around the world and he interviewed the most richest, most powerful people in the world for about, I think it was about over 5 years he did it. The guy was called Napoleon Hill who wrote it. And every single one, every chapter you read a different interview by a different person. And he puts together all the things on every single seven-step guide, I believe, on the quintessential things on how to be successful in life. And because it's got the word rich in it, it did put me off straight away because I don't really care that much about money. That is not necessarily where it's aimed. It is the core, the structure on how to be successful in life and how to achieve your dreams. There are quotes from former presidents. I'm sure there's things from like Winston Churchill, one of the most famous prime ministers ever. Abraham Lincoln. Really famous sports people. I can't remember them off the top of my head. But this book is honestly, if you're looking for the most famous and traditional and direct route to achieving your dreams and getting quotes off some of the most powerful people that have ever existed, like Einstein, as I said, Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, Winston Churchill, people like that, Stephen Hawking's, people like that he has gone and interviewed. Go and read this book. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Again, that is the cover. There are various covers. This is just one of them. I'll show you. They're like loads and loads of different covers, as you can clearly see. But it's just called Think and Go Rich. The guy's called Napoleon Hill. The book is phenomenal. I could not recommend this one enough. It's amazing. Go and check it out. Now this next book. This book is the one that has probably... It's the first book I read this year, I believe. Yeah, it was. And this book, I think 3 months into this year, I started reading this about 2 weeks into the year. I still try and read a little bit from this book, even though I've read it, a little bit from this book every single day. And this is quite a controversial one because of the person who wrote it. But honestly, I can't fault it. As much as I want to find something wrong with it, as much as people said, "Oh, but it's by him," I can't fault it anyway. And it is called Recovery: Freedom from Our Addictions by Russell Brand. Now, I know Russell Brand, some of you may know, he's a famous UK comedian, been an actor, he was married to Katy Perry. He is very mainly famous for being addicted to drugs, alcohol, sex, every single addiction and any reason to go into rehab. This guy has done it, basically, and he's come through it. And honestly, after reading his book, I have so much respect for this guy. I've seen 2 of his movies. I've seen... which one did he just do recently? I've got it on my phone. Let me just check. He did this film that I watched just about a month ago now, and it was just amazing. I really recommend you go and check it out. It's a documentary. It is called... Come on. It is called The Second Coming. Russell Brand's Second Coming. And it's all about, like he did a tour about how he spoke about Buddha, God, Jesus, what's his name? Really famous dictator. that got Gandhi. He talks about someone else. Oh, what was his name? Anyway, he talked about all these people when he was doing this tour, and he explains like how he looks at the political system and the life we live in. And I'm not that political. I really try not to be. I try and be an open mind to everything. But the way he does explain it, and considering he has been in that circumstance himself, of like actually seeing the rich side of it, I'm not saying he's right. I'm saying this is a different opinion from someone that's actually seen the lifestyle of a rich person and seems like a decently nice guy after what I've read his book and seen a few of his films. He seems like a decently nice guy and like knows, in my opinion, does know what he's talking about when it comes to like money does not prove happiness, which I clearly can give you an example of myself. I couldn't care enough about money. But in this book, back to the book, he really talks about basically, if you see here, there's all these different things, and it's basically he's saying everyone's got an addiction. That's what he says in this book. Is everyone has an addiction. You don't necessarily know you've got it. And it could be anything. It could be from being addicted to Instagram, gambling, sugar, work, social media, which was mine, as I said, caffeine, sex, alcohol. It goes on exercising, work. It goes on and on and on. Drugs, smoking, all these kind of things. If you are addicted to something, if you know you're addicted to something, if you are a passive smoker, if you are addicted to gambling, if you are addicted to drink, anything, any of these things I mentioned, or things that you don't think you are, but you spend a lot of time on and you wish you could cut out a little bit in your life, read this book. Oh my God, it is the most plain and simple way of looking at life because I just love how bitter and just to the point he is. I'm going to read the blurb just because it makes me laugh, but it really does show. Do you have any? Ha ha ha. The book. The book basically shows so many different ways of looking at life. I'm sorry, I got distracted then. Yeah, but basically the book is based off the 7-step program that they use for recovering addicts, so drug addicts. And I've spoken about this anyway. It's a 7-step program for these people, and he's basically written it down in a book, but he's changed the words quite a bit. So on the back, it actually gives you the 7-step program, and it's literally the first bit is called introduction, and after that the bit's called chapter 1, and the chapters are actually there's literally 13 chapters. Chapter 1 is the introduction, and the other 12 are literally all the other steps, and after the 7 steps, what you do. So after the introduction, chapters go like so. Are you a bit fucked? Chapter 2. Could you be not fucked? Chapter 3. Are you on your own going to get unfucked yourself? Number 4. Write down all the things that you are fucking up and have ever fucked up, and don't lie, leave everything out. Chapter 5. Honestly tell someone trustworthy about how fucked you really are. Number 6. Well, that's a lot of fucked up patterns. Do you want to stop? If so, seriously. Chapter 7. Are you willing to live a new way that's not about you and not previous fucked up stuff? You have to. Number 8. Prepare to apologise to everyone and everything you have affected for being so fucked up. Number 9. Now apologise. Now apologise unless this would make things worse. Number 10. Watch out for fucking up things and behaviour that, to be honest, what happens and when it happens. Number 11. Stay connected to your new perspective. And number 12. Look at life less selfishly. Be nice to everyone. And help if you can. So basically, there's a lot of fucking fucks in this. But anyway, the core of it is basically saying, have you got a problem? Could you not have this problem? Are you going to sort it? How are you going to sort it? Apologise to everyone. No. Write down what you've done wrong. Know what you've done wrong. Start apologising. Start looking at life a little differently. Don't be a selfish in life. Start taking this thing away from you. Try and live without it. And then when you start falling back into them patterns, here are a few things that you can do to not do it. Make sure you stay on track. And then you look at life in a completely different perspective. And believe me, I do after coming off social media. I know I've gone on about this book for about 5 minutes compared to the other ones, but seriously, this one I cannot recommend enough. Recovery by Russell Brand. Seriously, go and read it because it's incredible. If you don't even have an addiction, which I didn't think I did. I just liked the idea of the book. Go and read it, because I'm guaranteed you, nearly everyone that will read this book will take one thing away from it. It's just insane. It really is. The next two books are more like about the meditation, mindfulness, and what's the app that I use? I can't remember the name of Headspace. It's all them kind of things. So mindfulness, Headspace, yoga, and staying calm within, which I really like doing. And they're both by the same author. They are by Fern Cotton, a really famous presenter in the UK, writer as well. She's amazing. I think she's absolutely amazing. So the two books I've picked, and both of these I've read within like 2 weeks, because they are both just amazing and they're so creative. One is called Happy and the other one is called Calm, both about, well, the clear thing. And the long and short of what they say on the back is they both basically have the quintessential things in finding happiness and calmness in your life and how to achieve them. She speaks to loads of different people. There's interviews in here. She gives her life story on what she struggled with. She's had depression, anxiety, and the way she struggled with it whilst being, keeping up to this busy schedule and being a mother and trying to achieve her own goals in life, all these kind of things. The first book is absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love it. What I love is there are interviews by other people that are really, really, you would have heard of. There's people like Tom Fletcher in these. There's people that are like the CEOs of Copperfield in here. Really cool people like that. And they are, honestly, the book is just fantastic. You find out a lot about her and the ways that she deals with things. And it's just brilliant. It really is. If you like, meditation and finding the calm in life and be able to take 5 minutes every day, I'd recommend reading this on the go. Like when you need about 10 minutes and you just need to take some time away, read one of these books. Happy is the one I read first. That is absolutely perfect. That's a paperback that's out right now. It's also been a UK #1 bestseller, the Sunday Times bestseller, it says there. Honestly amazing. Calm is just as good. They're basically the same kind of things, but they're basically the same book but on two different subjects. And what I also love is the colours and like some of the stuff she uses. I'm going to see if I can use this. Find the page I'm looking for. I'm sure it's near the front. She uses like this rainbow of happiness or rainbow of calmness. It's here, and every time when you read certain chapters, she actually asks you to put a circle on how it makes you feel and like how it relates to your own life. So it actually like goes back to how it makes you feel and like you can relate to it. So you can use it to see how it could affect you and how you could use the example she gives. Honestly, amazing, calm, absolutely fantastic. Now I think that's it. I think that's all the books. Yes, I've done all the books. The books are done. I now have one more thing, which it is a book, but there are many different versions of this book. They're probably in like different things, but I have got one of my favourite inspiring and things to listen to is, and I will get this wrong, I found this on Audible. If you guys have Audible, honestly, this is probably one of the best things I've ever downloaded, purely because, one, he is one of my favourite motivational speakers of all time, bar none. He's probably the best I've ever seen. And he's known for being historic in the motivational speaking world, and he is just a genius at what he does. And the one that I'm referring to is The Best of Les Brown. It is a 19-hour audiobook that includes nearly every speech he has ever done. It is just absolutely phenomenal. It's a 60-hour audiobook, but it's basically a speech after speech after speech. Each speech is about an hour long. But if you just want something to listen to when you wake up in the morning, just when you need inspiration, it's not a book, it's just a bunch of different speeches by the same guy with different subjects. If you're looking for someone to inspire you on a daily basis and you'll want to find something new in every day, listen to these speeches. Honestly, this guy he's probably the reason why I want to do. And I'm being honest here. He is probably the most inspirational motivational speaker I've seen. Probably the best I've ever seen. I would love to be able to get to his standard one day, to even get close to this guy's standard for what he does. He's just insane. So that is The Best of Les Brown, which is on audible.com. And it's probably on YouTube somewhere. So if you don't have Audible, you could probably stream it somewhere. But honestly, listen to it. It's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Probably one of the best things I've ever listened to. Now that is it. That's all I have time for today. I'm sorry I didn't talk about a specific subject. I'm really sorry about that. But I really hope you enjoy these. If you find any of these books and you want to, go and find them, I I won't put the links down below, but majority of the books I've put, every single one of them, they are all easily to find. They'll be available like your local places like Waterstones, Amazon.com, all them kind of places. These books are really easy to find and they're just fantastic. I recommend them all. Thank you so much for watching. Stay happy, stay more positive, and keep life to the goals that you want to achieve. See you next week.